What's your brand? Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM with Got You Covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694 0915 958 1881 0902 745 3931 or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
So I have chess game with my friend later on today. When is the best time to play chess game?
I guess you're bored. Usually in the evening, but definitely before you are too tired. My very best chess, of course, is generally played at the times when I'm winning, unless my opponent decides to take a bow.
I'm definitely not taking a bow. Thank you.
I hope you win.
Hey, Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
I've been curious. Who exactly is the youngest swimmer in the world?
Oh, I'll tell you. Alzin Tarek, age 10, is the youngest and fastest swimmer in World Championships history. Tarek has been swimming competitively since the age of 4.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm glad I wowed you.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Who is the fastest man in the world?
That's very simple. It's Usain Bolt. He is the fastest runner on the planet, setting the world record for the shortest 100 meters sprint time of 9.58 seconds.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Who is the shortest basketball player in the world?
I like your curiosity. I'll tell you. Muggsy Bogues is the shortest player in the National Basketball Association history, listed at 5 feet 3 inches tall. He was drafted 12th overall by the Washington Bullets in 1987.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
I'm glad you asked.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Which club is the first to win Champions League?
That's very easy. Real Madrid. The first Champions League was won by Real Madrid during the 1955 and 1956 season.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Sporting a Jiffy on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM Lagos.
Midweek edition of the show, Sporting a Jiffy, on your most exciting breakfast show, the Morning Impact Show, here on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. One place I get to give you the very best of stories making the rounds in the ever exciting, ever dynamic, and sometimes controversial world of sport. Bits and pieces on the show this morning, tiptoeing through all of the major stories making the rounds. I tell you, whether you're a sports person, someone who loves the thrill of the game, or you're an athlete yourself, this is the right place for you to be, because the early better has gone around the world to catch the scores, and I'm more than willing to serve them to you just the way you like it, fast, without facts, and I'll be making it compact for your listening pleasure. Ayodeji Ajiboye is my name. Absolute honor to be your host on the show. Tiptoeing through all of the major stories right about now. Barcelona are reporting a significant financial turnaround under sporting director Deco, and it's reported that a record income of 994 million euros and their project ordinary revenue of 1.075 billion euros for the 2025-2026 season, which means that the closed debt has been cut to 469 billion euros. well, giving credence to Deco right about now, because it means that there's been a bit of careful squad management, which has resulted in the net profit of 9 million euros from their recent players' transfers. And he is still talking about the fact that they might not be needing more strikers, because he wants to bank on the fact that Ferran Torres is still there, who can play as a number 9 for them. But of course, there are still major updates coming through from the Barcelona ranks, and I'll tell you more about it later this evening. Don't forget that I will be here for the second installment of the show tonight, 6 p.m. down to 7 p.m. on the Sports Up Show, where we'll do 1 hour of banter, 1 hour of rage, 1 hour of views, reviews, and all of the interviews. The camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria is definitely bobbing right now. 18 players are reported to be in camp already, and the first training is definitely going to be holding later today in South Africa, right there ahead of the game against Lesotho in the FIFA World Cup qualifier. Yes, a big game for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and definitely all ends in glove. Later this evening as well, we'll be seeing the Flying Eagles of Nigeria go into action in the Under-20 World Cup, where they will be squaring up against Argentina. Will it be a repeat of what we've always been saying before when it comes to the national team of Nigeria playing against Argentina? Don't forget that the last time out, it was a 2-0 win for the Argentine boys. The last time we met was 2 years ago. Are we going to be having a repeat of that? Whether or maybe not, we'll look forward to that amazing matchup later this week. It's going to be 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time, all length in glove. And I tell you one thing for free, that a lot of our football enthusiasts are definitely banking on that. Talk about Coach Aliou Zubair and his boys are right there in Chile. A couple of matches are definitely on the way already, and I'll be giving you a result of that in the course of the show this morning. Elsewhere, we'll talk about the females, where the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup will also be staged right there in Morocco, and the Flamingos will also be a part of that. The head coach of the Nigeria's Under-20 Women's National Team, Moses Aduku, is also charging the country's Under-17 side, being coached by Bankole Olowokere, to remain focused and united as they prepare for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Aduku visited the team's camp in Abuja yesterday, delivering a motivational message to the players, urging them to play with the belief and discipline. Of course, why not? They're looking to make history for Nigeria on the global stage. The Falconers coach told the young players that their performance at the World Cup will not only shape their individual careers, but also reflecting on the progress of the Nigerian women's football. The Flamingos have won all of their 10 build-up matches, scoring 44 goals without conceding any. And then it is worthy of note that Bankole Olowokere is definitely building something with the ladies. They are scheduled to depart for Nigeria today for Morocco, where they will definitely be flying the country's flag so high at the competition. They've been playing a couple of friendlies, and they still got more friendlies to play before the tournament finally gets underway. I know that they have a game against Paraguay, which is going to be on October 14. Before the tournament officially kicks off. Don't forget that the Flamingos are being drawn in Group D. Yes, that's their first game is going to be against Canada on October 19. They're playing against France on October 22nd, and they wrap up their group stage game against Samoa on October 25. The team's recent run of form and a morale-boosting visit from the key figures in the Nigerian football is expected to boost the morale of the ladies as they go on and on in the tournament in the coming days. Still on the on front on the show this morning, like I earlier mentioned to you, at least 18 Super Eagles players with Benjamin Frederick, the latest addition, right in the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, preparing for the Friday's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match against Lesotho. The players joined camp yesterday, a day after the technical crew and the backroom staff arrived right there in Polokwane in South Africa. All length in glove for that particular match right now, because the Super Eagles must win the remaining 2 fixtures and hope for favorable results from South Africa and Benin Republic to keep our qualification hopes alive right there. Still more thoughts coming through from the home front on the show this morning, but then we'll move away from the world of football. The word on the street this morning is that Nigeria has now formally launched a bid to host a Formula 1 Grand Prix in Abuja, a move that could mark the sport's return to the African continent for the first time since 1993. The chairman of the National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, announced that the proposal has been submitted to the Federation International de Automobile and Formula One Management through the Opus Racing Promotions, which is going to be Nigeria's official representative in the negotiations. The Abuja Grand Prix bid enjoys the support of the top government officials and private sectors who are going to be looking to partner with them. The bid is coming on the back of Nigeria's successful hosting of the inaugural E1 Lagos Grand Prix earlier this month, which marked the first time the all-electric powerboat series was held in Africa. Still sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Here's a short reminder that I can keep track of this update and many more by following us across all social media platforms. We are currently live on our Facebook fan page at Empire Radio 102.1 FM. You can as well keep track of this update on our YouTube channel at Impact 102.1 FM. Still taking more stories coming through on the show this morning, but rightly still in other sports, Nigeria's para-powerlifting contingent departed the country yesterday for the 11th World Para-Powerlifting Championship holding in Cairo, Egypt, from October 9 to 18. The milestone event marks the first time the World Championship will be hosted on African soil, symbolizing a new era for the sport on the continent. The first batch of Team Nigerian athletes left the country yesterday amid cheers and well wishes from officials, fans, and also supporters, while the second batch of the contingent is scheduled to depart later today from Lagos, completing the full team that will represent the nation at the landmark competition. According to the statement, the National Sports Commission reaffirmed its full support for the athletes, emphasizing the government's commitment to promoting inclusivity and excellence in all sports. The hosting of the championship in Cairo represents a significant moment for Africa para sport, providing an opportunity to showcase the continent's growing infrastructure and commitment to disability sport. It's going to be a 10-day competition, which is expected to attract the top para-powerlifters from across the globe who will be vying for world titles in their respective weight categories. Before I move away from the home front on the show this morning, quickly in the world of table tennis, Nigerian promising table tennis star Matthew Kuti and Moise Adegoke have now made notable progress in the latest International Table Tennis Federation's world ranking for week 41 that was released last night, as both players climbed 5 places each in a week that saw renewed Nigerian movement across the global standings. Veteran Quadri Aruna remains Nigeria's highest ranked player, holding firm in 25th place with 1,185 points. The 37-year-old is now continuing to lead Africa's contingent ahead of Egypt's Omar Assar, Yusuf Abdelaziz, who sits outside the global top 30. Aruna's consistency at the top level reflects his enduring dominance, as he remains one of the few African players consistently competing on the world table tennis circuit. Behind Aruna is 19-year-old Kuti, who also rises meteoric, becoming Nigeria's second best player, moving up 5 places to 195th with 89 points after a string of impressive performances at the International Youth and Challenger event. Abdulbasit Abdul Fattah also climbed 4 places to 202nd with 81 points, while Olajide Omotayo, another key member of the Nigerian previous Commonwealth Games team, is now ranked 208, up 4 places right there. A couple of other players are also being ranked, but then in the women's standings, because remember that whatever your agenda is, I've got you on my agenda right here on Sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Fatima Bello continues to lead the Nigerian charge at 120th with 189 points, maintaining a position as the top-ranked female player. Joke Ojomu is following closely in 156th after climbing 2 places, while Aminat Fashola, who is currently 180th, is up 3 spots. Shukurat Ayela Begum making progress, moving 4 places to 208, while Favor Ojo rose to 207 in the world table tennis rankings right there. And away from the home front on the show this morning, we skedaddle straight to Europe, still bringing you more updates coming through from the world of sport. Not too good news for Messi fans, because in less than 2 weeks, Lionel Messi is going to be seeing 2 of his former teammates retire right before his eyes. Last week, it was Sergio Busquets who retired with Inter Miami. Of course, he's going to be retiring after the MLS season. Another big name which is associated with Messi and also Inter Miami is definitely announced his retirement from football after the 2025 MLS season, and that's no other than Jordi Alba, another Spanish midfielder, defender, I beg your pardon, who announced his retirement from professional football after the MLS season. Talking about the farewell message, the Inter Miami fullback expressed deep gratitude to all the club he represented during his career, especially Barcelona, where he spent over 10 years with the club. Like I mentioned, Abba is 36. Of course, you can say he's maybe one of the decorated career with Barcelona and the Spanish national team, winning multiple La Liga titles, the UEFA Champions League, and also the European Championship in the year 2012. Two familiar faces with Lionel Messi definitely making their way away from the world of football. Goes to show you the longevity that Lionel Messi is currently enjoying when you talk about his lasting legacy in the world of football. Still sporting a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Currently in Europe, and we're taking thoughts coming through from other sports on the show this morning. I skidado straight into the world of tennis, where Novak Djokovic has now battled through to reach the last 8 at the Shanghai Masters. That's right. And Novak Djokovic overcame injury issues and sweltering it as he beat German monarch to continue his bid for a 5th Shanghai Masters title. The 24-time Grand Slam champion appeared to struggle with an ankle injury and called for a trainer on a number of occasions to receive treatment, but persevered to win 6-3, 5-7, 6-2. Don't forget that on Sunday, Djokovic vomited during his win over Yannick Hanfmann in the previous round, which was played in a temperature of over 30 degrees Celsius and 80% humidity. Last night, Djokovic called for a medical timeout after breaking to go 3-1 up in the first set and grimaced as he received treatment on his left ankle. He's now going to be facing off against 44-seed Zuzubergs in the quarterfinals after the Belgian came from behind to beat 34-seed Gabriel Diallo 3-6, 7-5, 7-6 in the last 16. 10-seed Ogarone progressed to the quarterfinals with a 6-4, 6-7 win against Giovanni Pesci-Pericard. Afterwards, Shine called for the ATP Tour to introduce a heat rule similar to the one used at the Grand Slams, because most of the athletes are currently playing in the China Open, the One Open, and even the Shanghai Masters are saying that it's brutal when you have over 80% of humidity day after day, particularly for the guys when they are trying to play during the day with the amount of sun that is the heat, which makes it more brutal for them to play under such weathers. And away from that, still taking stories coming through from the world of tennis on the show this morning. Jacques Draper has now hired Jaime Delgado, who worked with Andy Murray when he became the world number 1 as his new head coach. The British number 1 will soon begin preparations in earnest for next season, having only been able to play one singles match since Wimbledon because of the bone bruising in his left arm. Delgado will cover the majority of weeks on tour, but there will still be a role for James Trotman, who has been Draper's side for the past 4 years. Of course, it's been a period of success for Draper, who this year alone reached the world's top 4 and won his first Masters 1000 event at the Indian Wells. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, he also reached the US Open semifinals and won his first 2 ATP titles. Away from that, right now, still got more stories to share with you in the world of tennis, but this time around, we'll be making a way into the WTA, where we talk about the One Open. British number 1, Emma Raducanu has had a blood pressure and temperature taken before retiring from a first-round encounter with American and Lee at the One Open. She looked devoid of energy and appeared to struggle with the hot and humid conditions as she trailed 6-1, 4-1 right there in China. The world number 30 called for the trainer after feeling a double breakdown in the second set before retiring. And according to the WTA website, Raducanu retired because of dizziness. Play was suspended on all outdoor courts from Monday because of heat, and Raducanu posted a screenshot of her phone that showed a temperature of 34 degrees Celsius. That's to tell you that it's very, very hot right there in China. People will joke that my city is hotter in July. Then I think we are playing when it comes to China in this time of the year. Defending champion Yannick Sinner also retired with cramp in the 3rd round of the Shanghai Masters this week, while 24th-time Grand Slam champion Djokovic, like I mentioned, vomited during his own win over Yannick Hanfmann earlier this week as well. In other games that we played in the WTA, Americano will now be playing against Russian 9-seed Ekaterina Alexandrova, who beat Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko 6-3, 6-2 in the 2nd round. And yesterday as well, Japanese 4-time major winner Naomi Osaka beat Canada's Leila Fernandez 4-6, 7-5, 6-3 to reach the 2nd round. Polish 2nd-seed Igor Swiatek beat Maria Buskova of the Czech Republic 6-1, 6-1, while American 14th-seed Emma Navarro suffered the shock 6-2, 2-6, 6-3 defeat by world number 142 Xua Zhang of China. Lastly, in the tennis world this morning, Kokogav only dropped one game as she started a one open campaign with a rapid straight set victory over Moyoka Uchima earlier today, 4 days after surrendering her China Open crown with a semi-final defeat to Amanda Anisimova. The Roland Garros champion was 6-1, 6-0 victory in mere 51 minutes. Uchijima only managed to win more than a single point in one game in the first set, with Girl of Imperials both on server with her defensive work, though she just missed out on the bag girl. Girl will now be facing either Shua Zhang or Sorana Sister for a quarterfinal place at the tournament, where she's currently seated third right there. Other games, she will now be joined in the last 16 by Jessica Pegula, who made to work much harder for near 3-hour epic against a fellow American Ali Batiste. Pegula triumphed 6-4, 4-6, 7-6 in 2 hours 57 minutes, finally converting her 7th match point and her second in deciding tiebreak. Pegula will now be facing Ekaterina Alexandrova in the next game, and the 6th seed has now won 13 matches in 3 sets on the WTA tour this year, more than every player other than Madison Keys, who has won 15. Wrapping up the show this one with sports stories coming through right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Still sports in a Jiffy this morning, and it's worth reminding that I'll be back later tonight, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Sports Talk Show, where we get to go through all of the nitty-gritty of all of these major stories, dissecting all of the hot topics on your number one urban lifestyle station. Quickly in the world of football on the show this morning, bringing you updates coming through. It's now been said that Manchester United's hierarchy are convinced the squad behind head coach Ruben Amorim after positive conversations between players and club bosses. United eased the pressure on Amorim with a 2-0 win over Sunderland at Old Trafford on Saturday. Afterwards, Mr. Mouse said the dressing room is 100% behind the gaffer despite the difficult start to the season. Defenders Matches Delight also publicly backed Amorim following a 3-1 defeat at Brentford a couple of weekends ago. And away from that, it's been said that Arsenal are still exploring various plans to expand and renovate Emirates Stadium, with the Gunners looking to begin work over a year ago, discussing possible ways in which the ground could be updated, with next summer set to mark the 20th anniversary of the stadium's first match. In an exclusive interview with newsmen as of July, Josh Kroenke said, and I'm quoting him, that it would be premature to talk about plans in depth, but the internal conversation are starting to occur about the stadium. It's not an easy renovation, but they are looking at the possibilities of what is going to be there. No final decision has been made, and conversations remain at an exploratory stage, and any significant renovation would be complicated given the stadium is located on a relatively tight 17-acre site with a train line running near the Emirates Stadium and restrictions on building development imposed by the Islington Council. Wrapping up the show with stocks coming through from the home front this one, like I mentioned to you earlier on, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will now be reigniting their long-standing rivalry with Argentina when both nations clash in the round of 16 of the 24th FIFA Under-20 World Cup at the Estadio Nacional later tonight. The encounter promising to be one of the most anticipated fixtures of the knockout stage, because two of the tournament's most decorated youth football nations will be facing off for a place in the quarterfinals. The two nations definitely sharing a rich footballing heritage that definitely spans several decades across different age grade and senior competitions. These duo have often delivered high drama, because the most recent of those came 2 years ago when Nigerians turned the host 2-0 in the round of 16 at 2023 Under-20 World Cup in Argentina, courtesy of goals from Ibrahim Mohamed and also Ali Rosarki. Right about now, this win is definitely, if they're able to win tonight, will be a symbolic reminder that pedigree and reputation alone do not decide matches at the top level. Don't forget, like I mentioned, it's been a big rivalry between the two sides. Even if you take it way back in time, let's say about 2 decades ago, because that was the last time we met in the final, was in 2005 in Netherlands. Argentina definitely had the upper hand when we met in that final, and they were the ones who put sand inside of our Gary at that particular tournament. Leo Messi, I will not forget, scored the both goals from penalty spot, triumphing 2-1, while Nigeria Chinedu Obasi netted the memorable strike in that pulsating encounter. Also play for the boys later tonight, being currently under the tutelage of Aliyu Zubeo, and is expected to select a new attacking partner for Tairi Maigana and Parabo Areri, as Nigeria is aiming to maintain the attacking balance, because for every game that we've played in this particular tournament, we've always had to hit the goalpost, if not twice, but 3 times. I did the same thing against Norway. Same thing happened against Saudi Arabia, and it was 3 in the last game against another South American opponent. That's talking about Colombia. Hopefully, the boys are able to get something done in the game later tonight, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time, and definitely it's going to be all hands in glove. Looking forward to an interesting encounter between Nigeria and Argentina at the Under-20 World Cup right there. Sports in a Jiffy on Empire Radio 102.1 FM, and as well, I'll be calling it a wrap on the package for this morning. I say many thanks to everyone who's been a part of the show. A couple matches will be going down, especially in the Women's League Cup, as well as the UEFA Women's Champions League, where Real Madrid women will be hosting AS Roma women. There's going to be an Nigeria's representative for Roma, that's talking about Rinsola Babajide, definitely will be in the game. Twente will be up against Chelsea, Manchester United up against Valeranga, Atletico Madrid will also be playing. I'm talking about the women's football now. And international games, Gibraltar will be up against New Caledonia, while in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, Mexico Under-20 definitely rub blushes on the host nation Chile with 4-1. Later tonight is going to be Argentina up against Nigeria, and Colombia will be up against South Africa. World Cup qualifiers on the African continent in Group A, Ethiopia will be up against Guinea-Bissau, Djibouti will be up against Egypt, Sierra Leone will be up against Burkina Faso, Eswatini in Group D up against Angola, Libya up against Cape Verde, Mauritius up against Cameroon, while in Group E, Niger will be up against Congo, Tanzania will be hosting Zambia, while in Group I, we're having Central African Republic up against Ghana, Chad will be up against Mali, Comoros will be hosting Madagascar. That's it for the African qualifiers for today. Yes, like I mentioned, we'll be back here later tonight for more talks on the sports option. A bit of matches will also be staged in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Enugu Rangers rescheduled match day 5 encounter against Abia Warriors, and same thing with Kano Pillars hosting Kwara United. Kwara United will be under the interim management of Ashifa Sulaiman after the team parted with their manager Tunde Soni for what they call poor run of results in the last couple of days in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Ayodeji Ajiboye is signing out this morning. Stay sporty, stay active, drink enough water to stay hydrated. Go out there, be the best version of yourself. Remember to be kind, because kindness is cool. I'll see you when I see you once again, and that's definitely going to be later this evening between 6 p.m. down to 7 p.m. Keep it logged right here on Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Toluwase Akinwumi is here to take you through the rest of the morning on the Morning Impact. You do have for yourself a blessed and a highly favored midweek.
From the greens of golf to the court of tennis and basketball, the octagon of UFC to the square room for boxing, track of Formula 1, and the pitch of football. Join the sports crew on Sport Hall, 6 to 7 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays.